Okay, so plenty of other people, including the people who did the localization, have already done unboxing videos for Galgun, so just doing that would be boring, but I figured what I would do is do a little unboxing and also a little comparison of the Western version with the Japanese limited edition. So we'll take this out of its box here. I already took it out earlier, but I figured I'd start with it in the box for the heck of it. So this is the Western limited edition. You can see it's got this huge box. It's very tall. I have to bring my phone way back just to even get all of it. It's probably like about 1.5 feet, probably almost 2 feet tall. And then the Japanese limited edition, the most expensive version of the game that came out here, is that. It's just the game in a slipcover. The normal PS4 game in a little cardboard slipcover. It did come with extra costume DLC, but that's about it. So, let's take a look inside this big box. Pull out what there is in here. Obviously, this first biggest thing is going to be the wall scroll. I believe, I'm about 95% sure that this is the same as one of the wall scrolls that was offered in Japan. I don't remember which store specifically it was the bonus for, but there it is. You can see pretty much all of it. It's a relatively non-risque image of Shinobu and Maya. So I'll just put that off to the side. There were much more risque wall scrolls, but I guess they wanted to choose the one that's a little bit more acceptable. So here we have the game, and you can see the front cover illustration is exactly the same. Obviously the logos and stuff are going to be different, and the rating. It's interesting that the Japanese one doesn't say only on PlayStation. That's not really important, but on the back, my Japanese copy is a little water damaged because I got a replacement copy and got a cheap used one. Not a big deal. But the back design is essentially the same, but it's changed up a little bit. The screenshots are different. The background is actually different there. You can see there's like some diamonds and yellow stars here. Well, no, I guess it's just a pattern of diamonds on a yellow background. Then over here, it's a bit more random placement of stars and hearts. Not all that interesting, but the main illustration on the back and the kind of word placement is essentially the same. So, now we can open up. We see the disc there, and the disc here. Well, I guess I'll put it, there we go. So you can see that the Western disc is a lot more bland than the Japanese disc. The Japanese disc has an illustration of the girls. It's the same as the cover, so it's the same illustration, so it's not like we're missing out on a exclusive illustration, but it is much more bland. It looks as though it's the same illustration, just with the characters edited out, possibly. And then you can see here behind the disc in the Western version, it's just the standard disclaimers and such that they print on the back of covers now instead of making a manual. But the Japanese version actually has a reversible cover. It's obviously black and white. Here, I'll pull it out a little bit to make it easier to see. But it's just a cute little collage of the main characters in chibi form. It's not, well, I don't know that I'd really call it a reversible cover necessarily, since you can see here the fold for the spine actually is in the middle of the illustration instead of actually having something specifically for the spine. I'm just gonna set my camera down for a second because I gotta put this back in here. Sorry. I'm just using my iPhone because I don't have anything better. Come on. There we go. Okay, no more blackness. So let's see what the next thing we can pull out of this huge box is. Want to pull, here we go. So this little piece of paper here is the pre-order bonus DLC, and so I believe there were some retailers that were just selling the regular version of the Western release, not the limited edition. Came with either the art book or this as the pre-order bonus, so this is not exclusive to the Mr. Happiness edition, but I'll flip it over here and cover that up because I haven't quite used it yet. But you can see it's just has a logo there and shows the, excuse me, sorry about the glare, but it shows the 4 costumes off. Not focused too well, but it's the ribbons, I think a ninja outfit, wedding dress, and then I don't remember what the name of the other one was, but it's basically those 4 outfits. Now, the Japanese version, let's see here, let me find the, okay, so this, which one is this? This, yeah. So this is the same thing, essentially. It's the limited edition DLC code pack, and so yeah, it's wedding dress, the ninja, kunoichi, the ribbons, and, oh, military, that's what the other outfit was. So it comes in this nifty little card here. I mean, it's not all that much better than a piece of paper, but it's nice that it folds in half and has the silhouettes on it and stuff. And then, let's see here if I can find, okay, so this was the bonus for the limited edition, which cost like, I think, 2,000 yen more or so at the start. And then this was just the pre-order bonus that came standard with pretty much every day one copy of the game, and it's the torn up school uniform. And so what I did is, I'm kind of ridiculous, and in Japan there were also specific pre-order bonus costumes for different stores. So if you bought the game on Amazon, for example, you got one costume. The Amazon costume was Amazon designed cardboard box, and then there's a few other, here's the one from Geo, which is a game store in Japan, and it's just designed like their in-store outfits. They obviously aren't quite that revealing in their actual outfits, but there's that one. And then this one is Hesodashi, which I think one of these I bought just directly from Yahoo Japan, not with the game, just the code itself. This one is, I don't remember how to read that kanji, but here's the third one. So so these 3 are the retailer exclusive DLC cards here, and 2 of them I got by actually going out to the store, buying another copy of the game, and then just selling the game back to a different place and keeping the card, and it ended up being just as cheap or cheaper as just buying a DLC code on Yahoo Auctions. But so the other side of that also meant that I ended up having 3 of these regular pre-order bonus cards. 2 of them I haven't even opened, so they're unused. But that's how the pre-order stuff worked out for Japan. Now the interesting thing is, I don't think this pre-order bonus, the torn up school uniform, it's available in the West, but I don't remember if it actually comes, well, it's okay, I'll use that before I put this up. I don't think it actually comes with this set, this 4 set, but I guess you just have to buy it separately for the US release. One thing I'm kind of curious about, I'm sure it's not, but I'm kind of curious if the DLC would be cross-region, so if you already had the Japanese DLC installed, I wonder if it'll work in the US version, but I very much doubt it. And then, so, there are actually a couple other exclusive costume DLCs for the Japanese versions. There were 2 Dakimakura covers, one for Shinobu and one for Maya, and each of those came with an exclusive DLC that's not actually available in the PSN store. But I do not have those because I did not want to spend the $100+ on the Dakimakura cover just for the DLC. Alright, so the next thing we're going to pull out here is the soundtrack. So this is the US soundtrack here. And you can see it's got a nice exclusive illustration there with all the Mihama Academy girls in the background. Or is that? No, I'm thinking of a different game, I think. Anyway, and then here is the Japanese version of the soundtrack. It's the same illustration, but interestingly, on the Japanese version, it's sideways. You can see here, the spine of the booklet is on the left, so this is the proper direction to insert the booklet, but I guess they want you to flip the booklet sideways. I just like having the spine pointing towards the spine, but... And you can see here, this just says Galgun Double Piece Official Doki Doki Soundtrack, and then this says Galgun Double Piece Doki Doki Sound Full Complete. So they made that sound a little bit more natural for the Western version of the soundtrack. And then if we peek on the back here, I mean, it's obviously just a bunch of track titles and very small text. It's interesting, they changed the illustrations up a bit. They're using both Padako and, oh man, I can't remember the devil's name, the demon girl's name off the top of my head. They had both of them there, and then the little logo up top, but I guess just because the English text ended up being so much longer, they had to kind of cut it down. But it is the same content. It's 37 tracks on disc 1 and 27 tracks on disc 2 for both of the soundtracks. Or is it? Oh, wait a minute. It looks like there's actually one track missing here. I'll have to look into that later because I don't want to waste everyone's time. That's interesting that there's actually one track left off. Oh wait, no, it looks like it's the first track. I'm getting shadows here. So you can see here, the first track on disc A is Bang Bang, short version, but that's not on here. It's not over here. That's interesting. I wonder why they did that. Maybe it was a licensing issue or something? Strange. Well, oh right, and then, so let's take a look inside the soundtracks. This is getting a little bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. So we can see here, disc A, these illustrations, I'm sure are from somewhere else. There's the back of the booklet there. Obviously this does not have an obi strip, because why would they do that? Now these illustrations, I'm not sure if either of these were created specifically for the disc art, but they're obviously very different, not even just the CD title, but the actual illustrations themselves. You can see the obi there. And we'll take a look at disc 2 in the back. Rotate this around. It's got Ekoro, and again, I have forgotten the demon girl's name. I feel stupid for that, but and then all the chibi characters. And then over here, again, it's the same characters, but a different set of illustrations. And then this is entirely different. It's, right, it's Sakurazaki Academy, I believe. So that's the statue of Sakurazaki from the first game, Kaoruko from the first game. So that's a very interesting change. It's got the same polka dot background, but this has kind of a heart emblem in the back that is not there at all here for whatever reason. And then I'm not really going to mess with pulling it out, but you can see the booklet here has a very large number of pages, probably 20 to 30 pages, and there's artwork and lyrics and such inside it. But for this, it's just a one-page fold-out. I'll pull this one out just because it's quick and small. Oops, I stopped recording. Well, we'll just continue. So yeah, this is the inside of the US soundtrack. It's just illustrations of Shinobu and Maya instead of a big booklet with lyrics and artwork and stuff. And, I mean, I can sort of understand not including the lyrics because it's all still in Japanese anyway. And as far as the artwork goes, well, you don't need to put it in the CD booklet because there's this, the art book. I looked through this earlier and it's pretty comprehensive, really. There's a little thank you note in the beginning. I'll just flip through here a little bit. There's all the in-game CGs. I guess you can't really see the right side page, but that's okay. You can buy it if you want to see it. So all the in-game CGs, and then the second section was what was kind of interesting to me, promotional artwork. So you get like the cover from the game, and then this is that cover from the Japanese limited edition over here. Then over here you can see this is the wall scroll that came with the Western limited edition. I don't know what this artwork is for, but the interesting thing is they included this wall scroll, but they did not include any of the more very extremely lewd artwork for the other retailer exclusive wall scrolls that existed. I guess it's possible there could have been another licensing thing with those retailers that prevented that artwork from being included, but there's storyboards, character art. It's really actually a pretty nice art book. It's nice to have all these character portraits of every girl in the game in little poses. And then, don't really need to talk much about this. It's the final piece of the Mr. Happiness edition. It kind of speaks for itself. I guess that's about it. So yeah, the Mr. Happiness edition is definitely a lot more extensive than the Japanese limited edition. The only thing the Japanese edition had that the Mr. Happiness doesn't is that one extra costume you can buy anyway, and then this little slipcover. And it ended up being, I think the Japanese limited edition cost somewhere between 8,000 and 9,000 yen, and the Mr. Happiness edition was $100 with free express shipping. So I think that we can definitely decide where the higher value was. But yeah, that is it for the contents of all the limited editions and stuff. This was sold separately. This was like 4,000 yen, I think, in itself. What does it say here? Yeah, 4,000 yen plus tax just for the soundtrack. So, I mean, you put these two right here already, you're over the cost of the Mr. Happiness edition. And there's still the art book and wall scroll. And, this as well. And the nice huge box, which is honestly kind of my favorite part of the whole thing. The box is just so huge, and the artwork is great. I haven't figured out where I'm going to put it yet, but you got the back with the little Mr. Happiness edition, My Body is Ready. I haven't played any of the game yet, but I've been watching it on Game Grumps, and the translation seems pretty okay so far. Obviously, I've posted about it in a few places, but there are some necessary technical compromises that had to be made, which are kind of disappointing, but I can understand why they had to happen, and I'll live with it. But yeah, I guess that will wrap this up. I'll try and figure out if I can smush these two pieces together, because I accidentally hit the volume button on my phone and ended the recording halfway through, but this will be like, what, 17 minutes or so? I would honestly be surprised if anyone actually bothers to watch this, but if you did, thanks. I'm gonna pack this all up and start actually playing the game now. Bye!